Right. Don't play over your head. Don't try to run with the Joneses if you know that you can't.
Right.
Be who you are.
Right.
And it's.
Welcome to Surrounded by Sports. I'm your host, Kevin Perkins. Today is the second part of my show that we did with Jinni Frisbey from South Alabama. Today we will be talking about NIL, about transfer portal, about how the NCAA world has completely changed at the D1 level. And I think the key to the conversation is she starts to talk to you about how it's really just like life, in that you have to understand who you are financially, right? You have to understand, what do I offer this situation? What can I afford to do? Which is a problem that if you watch the college football landscape, football teams are baffled to where they stand. They think they can compete with the Miamis or the Alabamas or the Georgias, and maybe you can't. Maybe you have to come to grips with the fact that that's not where you stand. And as UWF begins to go through what is kind of a probationary period before they get into all the NILs and stuff, I think this is a good conversation for you to check out. Please enjoy it. Back to the show.
You are watching Surrounded by Sports, a podcast hosted by Kevin Perkins. This show emphasizes how sports and life intersect while showcasing the Gulf Coast. And now, Surrounded by Sports.
Okay, now let's jump into how has, obviously it's too grand of a topic, but the portal and NIL and all that, how has that made the department crazy? It's got to be too crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go back to the first level because I think that this helps. So COA was first.
Right.
So that was cost of attendance. The intent for cost of attendance was, we're going to give you extra money based on your location,
right,
what your tuition is, and we're going to give that to you so you can buy deodorant, you can put gas in your car,
right,
you can eat out every now and then.
Right.
Okay, sort of a simplistic thing, but was really needed. Then Austin came about, big lawsuit with some basketball players from Ole Miss that said, okay, well, Austin now will be associated with your academics, and so we can give you X amount of dollars, but the school has to be able to have the funds to be able to pay that. So of course, the Power Fives at the time had the money, so they could technically pay all of their basketball players an additional $4,800 on top of their cost of attendance, which was probably at that level at $5,000.
Yeah.
So now these student athletes were getting $10,000 in stipend money spread over their 12 months. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So Austin sort of carried itself for a little while, and then transfer portal came. And the rules changed. I'd love to have my compliance guy in here because he's a genius.
We're not doing that.
But with that, it made it easier. It was easier for you to leave your commitment and go to another commitment.
Right.
The money really wasn't the thing. It was, I don't want to be here anymore because I'm not going to play, or I can go to a higher level and play. We lost several young men that were good enough here and went on to be second stringers at a Power 4.
Right.
Or Power 5.
Right.
So we kind of muddled through that, and that was really okay because it was sort of a 1-for-1. If your backup quarterback left, you were just getting another backup quarterback.
Correct.
Because the numbers were balancing out for football and for
there's
the
a pool
others.
here, there's a pool there.
Yeah.
This guy goes into that pool,
Yeah.
there's still a pool.
You can draw.
Right,
You can
right.
draw from that pool. Now NIL comes along. Name, image, and likeness. So to me, I think that was the biggest change, because name, image, and likeness was intended for Kevin Perkins to get a percentage of the jerseys that were sold with Kevin Perkins on the back.
Right,
or
right.
Perkins on the back.
Right.
Which the richer and the more famous decided, well, we're going to do it in a different way, and we're going to create a collective. And that collective is going to drop X money as a nonprofit into this account,
Right.
and the collective is going to distribute that money to all of these student athletes. Well, that's not fair. Now
Right.
you've got the rich, the richer, and the middle class and the poor.
Right.
And that, to me, has put the biggest struggle on intercollegiate athletics.
Right.
all the way across the board. It has changed the dynamic of
Right.
who you recruit, how you recruit,
Right.
success levels. APR is still a thing, so academic performance rate. So your student athletes have to stay and they have to graduate or you're going to be penalized. Well, that's not fair because those student athletes are leaving and they don't have any regard for you most of the time. They're going on to the next thing because the collective tells them they're going to pay them $50,000 or give them a car or whatever it may
Right.
be to entice them to go up to the next level.
Right.
So we really separated ourselves. And it's funny because, we went Power 5, Group of 6. And we sort of defined who we were. So we were the upper class and the middle class.
Right.
And the middle class, I think, was just trying to keep up. Let's do what
Right.
we can do within our means without
Yeah.
completely shambalizing ourselves.
Right.
So I think we were able to know who you were. You had to learn your identity really quick.
Right.
As you were recruiting, who are we?
It changes who you can recruit.
Who you can recruit.
Right.
And it's really interesting because I was having this conversation with my coaches the other day, and I think this is a very clear understanding of where we are now. There are female student athletes requesting $50,000 to come play a sport. They are coming from a Power 4 school and want this money, but they're not even going to play for us. They're not talented enough to be a number 1 roster person for us. But because of what we've done to this dynamic, everybody that leaves thinks they're going to, grass is greener, right?
Right.
I'm going to leave Virginia and I'm going to go to South Alabama and I'm going to ask for this much money. Well, our coaches are like, we can look at the talent. You're
Right.
not going to play for us. We don't have $50,000 to give you. We got to go. We got to look another direction.
Right.
So our coaches, tremendously are powerful female sports. They are selling who we are, who we are as coaches, who we are as this institution,
Right.
what we can do.
What we financially what's
Transformational
possible.
relationships, right?
Right. Correct.
I can bring you here. We can get you a degree. We can start you into a career. Or you can choose another route and your life may be different. So it's really
Yeah.
cool how our head coaches are so dynamic and that they are able to work within their means,
Right.
bring in the best people that they can, that happen to be the best student athletes
Right.
that they can be, and then the best academians.
Right.
Thank you for watching Surrounded by Sports. Thank you to our sponsors, Campbell Football Evaluations, Sidelines Restaurant, Pensacola Beach, McCory Homes, Faust Builders, DNS Enterprises, MEG Financial, Coastal Landscaping, Warren Averett, FFS Roofing, Blue Meridian, and MPWR Bodywork. Please check these folks out and see if they can help you out in any way. Check out all of our content on YouTube, Facebook, X, TikTok. Like, subscribe, and comment. Stay engaged with Surrounded by Sports to find out more about how sports and life intersect right here in the Panhandle. Thank you very, very much, and back to the show.
Academians.
Right.
Um,
And people also when they think NIL, they think of Duke, North Carolina basketball,
Right.
and Ohio State, Michigan, Alabama, Georgia
Right.
football. They don't think about the filter down
Right.
and how it works. But this school just won the
Bubas Cup,
yes,
the Vic Bubas Cup. Yes.
right. And so 17 sports. The best overall athletic department was this
right.
one,
That's right.
navigating these waters.
Yep, navigating these waters.
Yeah.
So, and I think too, as an institution, identity is very, very important. As an institution, each institution has to figure out who do we want to be,
Right.
right? Do we want to be overall successful in all of our sports? Do we want to have the highest graduation rate?
Right.
Do we want to have the most trophies? And I think we could do all of those
Or do we
things.
want to just focus on one?
Or we want to focus on one.
Right.
And I think that why do I stay at South Alabama? And I'm about to tell you. One, because we just got us a new athletic director. Our university administration is unbelievable. They understand the dynamics and the landscape of where we are. But it's the people.
Right.
I mean, I can honestly say, my father used to ask me this, why don't you go to Alabama? Why don't you go to Auburn?
Right.
Grow where you're planted, right? Mm-hmm. The student athletes here are the most incredible human beings. Not that they wouldn't be at Alabama or Auburn.
Right.
But I know what I'm going to get because our coaches recruit amazing people.
Right.
That ultimately end up getting great jobs and great careers because academically this institution is very, very strong.
Right.
We offer so many allied health opportunities for both our male and our female student athletes that they're going to be successful. They're going to be a nurse. They're going to be a doctor.
Right.
They're going to be an engineer. They're going to be an educator. They're going to do something in allied health.
Right. And you've been around enough to know success is not the NFL.
Right.
Success can be the NFL,
Yes.
but the success can be so much more. There's so many other. It can be the pilot, or it can be, the every different aspect of management or jobs and teaching and all these things that are so important to making the whole ball roll forward for all of us.
Yep.
And this place can create that.
And I bet you less than 1%, it's probably less than 0.5%, of these student athletes that I've been, around all these years, 19 years now. Right now we have two active in the NFL that are, playing on a daily basis that I have tremendous relationships with because of my experiences as the athletic trainer for their particular teams. One of them is Jeremy Reeves from Pensacola.
Sure.
He's a tremendous young man. He probably has the greatest work ethic of any football player that I've ever been around.
Right.
That guy is a never say never. And I remember when he was, going through his pro day and him not getting picked up. And I used to talk to the scouts. They would come in and, evaluate our students, our student athletes, our football players, and I'd sit down with them. Character, who are they? What do they look like? Like, what does their family situation look like? What do their grades look like? Are they on time? Do they work hard? And Jeremy was so disappointed that he didn't get through the draft. And it's simply because his measurables. Your hands are too small. But his heart was so big, that guy just kept fighting. And, we still keep up with each other today.
Sure.
And, he just got married. I usually see him over in Pensacola, and he just got married to an incredible woman, and so happy for him. My other one is Jalen Tolbert, and he was drafted by the Cowboys and was there until this year, and he signed a 1-year free agency with the Miami Dolphins.
Right. He can fly.
Yeah, he can fly. And he's just a natural talent. And again, I'm close to his family. Parents are still here. You talk about humility at its finest. He's just a great young man too, and I'm very fortunate. Now we've got some guys in the major leagues. Had a guy doing WWE for a while.
Right.
So for me, it's kind of cool that I get to be a very small part of these great success stories.
Both that and of the other walks of life that are more normal for the college athlete and the college experience, which I believe, like I said earlier, I think that South Alabama is more of what our parents grew up thinking was the college experience.
Yes. And I think that it is too. I would say that if I was to equate Troy State in the early 90s to University of South Alabama in 2026, they look alike, right? Opportunities, blue collar workers, middle class people that are just working as hard as they can to achieve their goals.
Right.
And like I said, we're just there to help lift them up.
Give them a platform.
Yeah, give them a platform.
Right.
Do you want to talk about it? Do you want to talk about RevShare?
What now?
You want to talk about RevShare now?
We can. Go ahead.
That's the next step.
Go ahead.
RevShare is where we currently are.
Right.
So after the NIL and the collectives thing just really got out of hand, and I don't even need to dig into things that Texas and Alabama and Georgia were doing.
Right.
RevShare was approved by the NCAA. There was a number given so each institution could distribute this amount of money under the RevShare. It was tax-free, which technically the collective was because they were nonprofit, but it really wasn't based on the work that they were doing. So I think that there was some complexities there that nobody really thought about when that thing blew up.
A lot of this has to do with nobody really thinking about.
Yeah, and so the NCAA sort of reeled that back in with the help of a lot of really good lawyers and a lot of lawsuits that we're paying a lot of money for.
Yeah.
So rev share now allows the money to be donated to the institution.
Okay.
And then once it's in the institution in its own fund, then that money can be distributed to said student athletes, said sports, whatever it may be.
Right.
So now I think that's where everybody is running. The budgets are where they are. NIL is still in existence.
Right.
COA and Alston are still in existence. Scholarships have changed to a dollar amount instead of a percentage, which I think has been really, really helpful. Our institution is doing a ton to ease the financial burden on our internationals and creating some out-of-state folks that can be considered in-state, which is all helpful to our coaches with their opportunities to recruit student athletes. They have now become accountants, which is kind of interesting because if you're a coach and you don't do well with numbers, you better dang sure have somebody in your corner that can.
Right.
So we were able to hire a person that just does the rev share, and so they are different. All those are 4 different entities, and 5 if you count scholarships. So I think that there's a little more control. Again, now that it's branched off to the Power 4 instead of the Power 5, and now we're the group of 6 to the group of 5. But I think everybody sort of is understanding where they are now. And I said identity before, but I think that really is the key.
Right.
Don't play over your head. Don't try to run with the Joneses if you know that you can't.
Right.
Be who you are.
Right.
And it's kind of cool because it does kind of correlate with our world. Like, be who you are.
Right.
Do things within your own self and structure.
Right.
Create your own goals, and don't worry about the exterior noise.
Right.
And I think that is crazy as collegiate athletics are right now. I think that we are at a place where we can dull the noise some and just concentrate on the 369 student athletes that we have here and how we're going to help them be successful.
Great.
And so.